Don't be so jealous. Marriage is a great thing. Well, for someone who's just failed like you, it may be hard to feel that way, but my name is Tsuyoshi Inoue. I'm 41 years old, working humbly in middle management for a company. I'm not married, and I don't have a girlfriend either. However, it's not like I was alone all this time. Until about a year ago, I actually had a pretty beautiful wife. We were married for 6 years. I may not seem like it, but I earn a pretty decent salary, so I don't think I ever made my wife suffer. We moved into the designer apartment that she wanted, and all of the furniture in the house was what she requested. It sounds silly for me to say it myself, but I felt like I gave her everything she wanted. However, one day, out of nowhere, she demanded a divorce, and she didn't even give me the opportunity to talk about it. In an instant, my married life was over. Perhaps the one saving grace was that we didn't have any children between us. I have no idea of the reason behind the divorce, but I can only assume that she must have found some other man. I don't need a settlement fee. I don't care about the separation of assets. Just hurry up and divorce me. That was all she said to me, but there was one other reason that I was sure that there was somebody else. We'll get to that later. Anyway, at the age of 40 years old, I took multiple steps back and ended up single again, and it's been a year since then. My life was just a back and forth between my office and my home. I put all of my anger and frustration into my work, so as a result, I've been able to move up quickly, but that hasn't exactly changed my mood. That being said, when it comes to finding a new partner, I don't have my youth anymore, nor do I have the energy. And I'm not interested in sensual affairs, as I used to be back then. And more than anything, there was one person who was making my mind spin the most. It was a man who was my colleague, and also working in middle management like me, named Takumi Yamada. We've known each other for a long time, and when it comes to work, we were also rivals in the office. There was nothing wrong with a little bit of workplace competition. However, recently, there was a big change with this guy, Takumi. Hey, about the company anniversary party at the end of this month. You're gonna be there too, right? Well, I guess so. Apparently we get a +1 if it's a spouse, but I assume you're going to be going alone? Obviously that's the case. What about you? Oh, me? Well, of course I'll be attending with my wife. Didn't ask for details. Thanks for telling me. Don't be so jealous. Marriage is a great thing. Well, for someone who just failed like you, it may be hard to feel that way, but I wonder whose fault that is. What was that? Is there something you want to say? No, it's nothing. My bad that I'm the only one happy here. That's right. This guy Takumi had just gotten married a few months ago. It was already hard enough to listen to a man in his 40s talk about his newlywed fantasies. But if he'd just gotten married, I would have been genuinely happy for him. And I'd be happy to listen to him and his honeymoon phase. The problem was about his wife.
Hey, about my pearl necklace. Have you seen it at that house?
I don't know. When you left, you took all of your own personal belongings with you.
But I can't find it, and I need it for the end of this month.
Like I said, I don't know. More importantly, are you seriously planning on attending the anniversary party?
Yes, I am. Is that so wrong?
You don't think it's going to be awkward? You are my ex-wife after all, and your current husband is my colleague.
What's the problem with that? Or are you worried that you're going to fall for me all over again?
What a joke. As if I would ever want to be with a woman as selfish as you ever again. That's right. Takumi's new wife was actually my ex-wife. My ex-wife Kazumi was currently 34 years old, and she was still in her prime, and she still looks very young. About 10 years ago, when Takumi and I were both around 30, Kazumi joined the company as a new employee. At the time, she was a show-stopping beauty, and very cute. Well, even today she's still on the beautiful side. And all of the men within the company were buzzing. Takumi and I were no different, and especially Takumi was really going after Kazumi. However, it's embarrassing for me to say, but Takumi and I were both pretty popular with the ladies in our company. I didn't pay much mind to it, but every year Takumi would ask me how many chocolates I got from the women on Valentine's Day. and it was clear that Takumi and I were getting the most chocolates out of anybody else in the company. Although, well, usually I was getting more, but it was always difficult to give chocolates back, and all of the other male employees were getting frustrated and demanded to put an end to the Valentine's Day tradition. They caused quite a fuss about it. So a few years ago, our company banned all Valentine's Day activities. But Kazumi ignored that, and that year, she came to give me chocolate on Valentine's Day.
Mr. Inoue, please accept this from me.
Wait, this chocolate? I can't accept this. Valentine's Day is banned within our company. Although, I'm very happy that you feel this way.
But I'm being serious with my chocolate.
What? Does that mean...
You're always so laid back, Mr. Inoue. Do you have no interest in me at all?
As if. You're the most beautiful person in our company. Even if I didn't want to be, of course I'm interested.
Well then, just once, please go on a date with me.
What? But you know, what about Takumi?
What does Mr. Yamada have anything to do with this? This is about you and me, right?
She's so cute. There was a part of me that was hesitating because of Takumi. But to have a woman this beautiful ask me out, there was no way that I could say no. And that was how I won in the great battle of the war for Kazumi's heart. 2 years after Kazumi joined the company, 2 years after we began dating, 4 years after we met, we crossed the finish line together. When we first announced that we were dating, of course Takumi threw a fit. He was desperately chasing after Kazumi, and Kazumi had also told me about how he tried to take her to bed, too. Kazumi never faltered, though, and she married me. Because of that, I feel like my rivalry with Takumi was set even more aflame. Honestly, it was annoying how much he tried to compete with me. And then a year ago, my wife suddenly asked for a divorce. And then a few months later, there were rumors that Takumi had a new girlfriend. And we discovered that the girlfriend was my ex-wife. That was the reason why I assumed my wife had another man. Basically, right under my nose, my wife was stolen by my own colleague without me knowing. Takumi and I may be in different departments, but there was no way that a story this interesting wouldn't get around the office. And for a while, I was spoken about as the man who had his wife stolen at 40 years old by a colleague, and labeled a sad, middle-aged single man. And it was awkward to be in the office. At this point, the rumors have settled, and I also felt a lot of sympathy towards me. So I'm used to it now. But I think it goes without saying that I didn't think highly of Takumi's presence. When did those two get into that kind of relationship? Could it be from when we first got married? Was she two-timing and dating him all this time? Was I being messed around with in the palm of Kazumi's hand without knowing it? I should stop thinking about it. We're already divorced. Nothing good is gonna come out chasing after it anymore. That's what I told myself. But then I was searching affair, settlement fee, statute of limitations on my phone. The statute of limitations to collect a settlement fee for the cost of damages due to adultery. It's 3 years from the day that the victim found out about the affair. If I discuss it with a lawyer now, would I be able to at least squeeze some money out of them? No, but I've already completed the divorce, and she's already gotten remarried. It would be really hard to try to scavenge for evidence of an affair. If only I'd been more diligent at the time of the divorce and asked for a detective to conduct an investigation. I didn't even suspect her of any wrongdoing. I'm so stupid! I should get to sleep. To still be moping over the divorce 1 year later? Really not manly. My mind was an endless loop. Until one day, I finished work as usual and was getting ready to leave the office when...
Mr. Inoue, do you have a minute?
Miss Abe? Sure I do, but what's the matter? The receptionist of our company, Miss Misaki Abe, spoke to me. I think she joined the company about 3 years ago. She was another one that every single guy in our office would know of. She was like the company Madonna. Not only was she beautiful, she was always smiling and a pleasure to work with. She was famous just as much for her work ethic as she was for her looks. Of course, it goes without saying that the competition for her was racing. I'd spoken to her a couple of times after work, but that was about it. I wasn't after her either. When I met her, I was already married. And more than that, she was 25 years old, more than 15 years younger than me. With that much of an age gap, I wasn't interested in that way either. Or so I thought, but...
This is my phone number, if you'd like. Or if you're extremely bored, please message me.
She handed me a piece of paper with a note on it, and before I could say anything back, she swiftly ran away. What? Hello? This is Tsuyoshi. Am I correct that this is Miss Misaki Abe's number?
Yes! Thank you so much for messaging me. I'm really happy to hear from you.
Well, I'm glad. So, is there something that you needed from me? I don't know if I can be of much help when it comes to reception duties.
Actually, I wanted to ask you if you would like to go to dinner sometime.
With me?
Yes, if possible, just the two of us.
Is that how worried you are about your work?
No, I'm asking you out on a date.
Me?
Yes, you. And if possible, I'm hoping to hear a positive response from you.
Sure, but
Thank you very much. I can't wait.
I don't know how to say this, but she's just so young. But still, I really wasn't expected to be asked out on a date. I could only think of it as a prank or some bad joke. However, even though I felt pressured in the moment, I did say yes, so I couldn't back out now. At this age, I know a few places that would be good for a date. I chose an easy restaurant for the two of us to have dinner, and we stopped at a bar on the way out, and we talked a lot. Misaki was young, but for some reason, she was well versed in topics about my generation, so it didn't feel awkward talking to her. And to be honest, I had a pretty good time. All of my worries over the last year, at least in that moment, I felt like I'd forgotten them all. I realized that, and it shocked me. What? This is a joke, right? Did my heart just skip a beat for Misaki? Am I into her? No. Reel it back to reality. You're a 41-year-old geezer. This is a crime. No. I desperately suppressed the little spark inside of me. As we were leaving,
Will you please go out with me?
she said to me, and that little spark I tried so hard to contain started shaking. Calm down. 41 years old, 25 years old, 16-year age gap. If I was a high school gangster, I could even be her dad with this age gap. Well, the age gap is a little bit much, isn't it? I said, and looked away, but she wasn't giving up.
Are you saying that I'm not good enough?
That's not what I'm saying at all.
In that case, then, please think about this seriously. Please put aside the age gap or whatever other unnecessary points, and consider if you can't look at me as a woman.
All right. I couldn't remember the last time I was asked out by someone in such a straightforward way. Is it her young fearlessness? Or are all young women these days this assertive? However, well, we had been drinking, and I'm sure she was just a little carried away. That's what I told myself, as I desperately tried to pretend like that day never happened. I tried, but then, the next day...
Thank you very much for yesterday. Even though I was the one that invited you, I'm sorry that you treated me the whole night.
No way I could ask a woman in her 20s to split the bill with me.
So, did you think about what I said yesterday?
Do you mean?
About going out with me, of course.
We were drinking all night, so perhaps it's better to think about it.
I'm sober right now, but also I wouldn't be drunk from just that much anyway.
What? But you were drinking double what I was.
I'm being serious.
No, but our ages are too far apart. I'm sure you could get any guy you wanted that's way younger and more attractive than me. Plus, I'm once divorced already.
I began noticing your attractiveness around this time last year.
What? Right around that time, I'd just gotten divorced.
Yes, I had heard about your divorce around the office. But to be honest, more so than the divorce, what was bigger to me was that you entered the age that I liked the most.
The age you like the most?
Yes, I like older men, more mature men. I'm not interested in men under the age of 40. This is going to sound ridiculous, but you're barely meeting the line with your age.
That's ridiculous!
To tell you one more ridiculous thing, I always felt like you would be amazing when you passed the age of 40. I was going to give up as just a fantasy, but then you got divorced at the perfect time. I felt like this was God pushing me to go for it.
That's seriously way too ridiculous!
But why not? It's not like I'm just after your money or anything.
Well, that may be the case, but...
Anyway, if you're going back and forth about it, then we should just go out. We can start as friends in the beginning. What do you say?
Well, then sure, I guess. And so, even though I was half pressured to do so, I began going out with Misaki. Even then, starting as friends when I was past the age of 40. But honestly, it'd been a long time since I did anything like this, and it was more fun than I expected. Maybe the reason why I didn't feel any awkwardness when speaking to her was because she was into older men? She had quite a lot of knowledge about our generation, and even on dates, rather than going to the most popular or trending spots, we often went around to small cafes. Our dates were very calm, which I liked. I was traumatized by my wife leaving me, but thanks to her, it never crossed my mind anymore. Our relationship was going steady over the course of a few months. Hey, I just heard a little rumor earlier, but I'm 99% sure that it's just some stupid rumor. But I'll ask you for your sake, just in case. What do you want with that attitude? Is that rumor about me going out with Miss Abe? Even you've heard the rumor too, huh? Well, it's fake, right? Even if the world turned upside down, it would never happen. My bad for turning the world upside down. What? Are you trying to say that it's true? Well, yeah. Hey, don't get lost in your pathetic fantasy. Just because your wife left you, that's no reason. Will this make you believe me? You're just being fooled. That's obviously what's happening. Well, you can take it however you want. Naturally, our relationship started to be known by those around us. We did our best not to make it public, but my partner was the Madonna of the company after all. If anybody found out that she had a boyfriend, there was no way rumors wouldn't spread. Not only that, but thanks to Misaki's selections, my fashion sense changed recently, and my attitude had become a lot brighter, and I stopped working so much overtime. On top of that, Misaki, in her own way, recently had an even more polished beauty about her. She said that it was because she wanted to be a woman worthy of me, but the female employees and the male employees who were after Misaki were very observant. And one day, when we just happened to be talking, we were surrounded and questioned. All right, fine, I'll confess. The person who has the honor of dating Miss Abe is me. What? It didn't take long for everybody to find out. I thought it would become awkward as an old man at my age dating someone so much younger than me. But much to my surprise, my team and my colleagues were very happy for me. Turns out they were worried about me after seeing the awful divorce I went through. Well, all of the young male colleagues that were after Misaki really teased me for it, and they made me treat them to some expensive alcohol. Anyway, there wasn't anybody like Takumi this time, who was openly envious or angry towards me. Finally, I was able to live a satisfying life in both my personal and professional lives. And 1 year later...
It's been a while. How have you been?
Oh, better than ever. That is, until my ex-wife messaged me.
You don't have to be so cruel. We were married after all.
What do you want?
I was wondering if you want to go to dinner together. My husband is on a business trip and he won't be home for a few days.
So what?
You understand, don't you? It means that you can stay over too. I have a physical chemistry. It was always out of the roof, wasn't it?
Listen, just because your husband isn't going to be promoted anymore, That's no way to handle it.
What are you talking about?
Don't act dumb. But anyway, I don't care. I'm actually getting remarried.
Excuse me?
The fact that I was into you at any point in my life is my biggest regret of 42 years.
Wait! Let's talk about this, please!
That's right. I proposed to Misaki, and we were now each other's fiancés. In about 6 months, we're looking forward to having our wedding. As for the reason why my ex-wife tried to get in touch with me, just like I mentioned in the messages, Takumi had lost his standing at work. He thought he was on top after stealing my wife from me. But this time, he saw that I started dating the young and cute Madonna of the company. And apparently, he became even more jealous than he had ever been. In that case, he wanted to prove his supremacy through work, which would have been fine, but because he was so flustered, he unfortunately made a very big mistake. He messed up the order for an extremely important new product launch at the company. The company was met with a couple of $100,000 in damages, and you could say that there would be no future for him at this company anymore. According to internal rumors, I heard that it's already been decided that in the next company restructure, he would be relegated to a branch way out in the suburbs. As for me, I've always been putting all of my energy into my work and producing consistent results. In my personal life, I found an amazing support system in Misaki, and my life is only continuing to go upwards. Even I couldn't believe how much energy I had every day. My hard work was recognized, and I was promised a promotion at the next company restructure. That company restructure came in, and just as expected, Takumi was relegated out to the suburbs. His relationship to my ex-wife Kazumi became irreversibly bad, and I heard that the two of them are losing their minds as they are fighting through mud in divorce court. After that, Misaki and I successfully registered for marriage and had our wedding, and we began our newlywed lives as husband and wife.
I think she just moved.
Really? I can't wait to meet her. Oh yeah, if there's anything you need at all, just tell me anytime.
Hey, stop that. Can you not make me the same as your ex-wife?
What?
I don't like wasting money on unnecessary things. You're letting me live a more than comfortable life already. We can decide on all of the baby stuff together.
Alright, sure. Soon our life as a family of 3 will begin. I'm so excited I can barely contain it!